This is to show you how to load your 3D models into your slicer. All you're going to do is the files that you download off Thingiverse or the files that you make, they need to be exported as an STL file, and that's the format that the slicers will recognize. So here's one called a 3mm box. It's a 3mm tall box by 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters. It is just a nice little calibration block and test print that most people do just to test for basic function and just to see how close dimensions are from when you actually print it. Like when you make a model that's 3 millimeters, when you print it, is it going to come out exactly 3 millimeters? And that's pretty much the ultimate goal of all these fine tuning, is to get it as close as you can. I've been able to get it pretty close to about the best result I've ever had was on average 3.05 millimeters. So I'm off by just 0.05 millimeters. Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes it's off by like 0.1, 0.2 millimeters. That might seem kind of small, but when you're making parts that need to fit into each other exactly, that means that you might have to sand some parts or you might have to adjust them in the model. But this printer has been doing a really good job so far at you just printing it out, and it comes out pretty damn close to the size that you made it. So when you first load the model up, don't worry about these settings, I will send them over to you. You're going to see that there's these two buttons up here. The one with the floppy disk, that one is more important. If you see the floppy disk on there, that means your printer is not connected to the computer. Make sure you have the USB cable plugged in, and then plug in the power. The front fan, again, will turn on automatically whenever the power source is on. And you will see that that floppy disk symbol will turn into an hourglass symbol when your printer successfully connects. There it goes. You're going to, once you have the model there, once you have all the settings that you want, the correct scale, the correct amount of number of like copies that you want to make of these, you're going to click on the that hourglass symbol, and this thing should pop up right here. This is called the Ponterface UI, or user interface. This gives you a little summary of your printer right now. It's currently operational. The temperature is at 27 degrees Celsius. Everything is in Celsius and in millimeters. So it gives you some manual controls, like you can move the axes manually if you wanted to. This is where you're going to put in your printing temperature, which currently for this temperature is set at 200 degrees. And you can set a bed temperature, which this currently does not have a heated bed, so this, you don't have to mess with this. So when you click on that hourglass, you are going to want to wait a little bit until this pops up right here, operational, and then the temperature. It'll say like finding temperature, finding printer, or scanning for printer. It'll say something like that. You got to wait till it says operational. Then you can place the temperature in, which right now we want it to be 200 degrees Celsius. And then you are going to want to click anywhere on here. I typically like to click here just on bed temperature. Once you click off that, the hot end, as you can see up there, you see the temperature quickly rising up. And this is a little graph showing you the temperature of your hot end. Remember, the hot end and the nozzle, that's what's heating up. That little red part right there with the little metal piece sticking out. Not this one, not that one, that's a sensor, but this, do not touch that. I've been burned a couple times, and it is 200 degrees Celsius, sometimes over 200 degrees Celsius, so you will get instantly burned. So you have the plastic loaded up, you have the file loaded up, and it's already sliced. This Cura automatically slices your thing, so you don't need to press any other buttons once you load the model up, and it gives you this time. This is going to take about 5 minutes. It is going to weigh about 1 gram, and it's going to take about 0.4 meters of material. So as you can see, this curve is going up, the temperature is going up, and when it reaches 200 degrees, you can click print, and it'll start to print. I'll resume the video once it gets to 200.